This week's podcast episode is answering more of your listener emails. I'm really far behind in some of the emails, to be honest with you. And so I figured this would be a good opportunity to dive right back in, starting with an email from Annette. Hi, Matt. Thank you for all the info on Real Caribbean Cruises. So appreciate this. I'm from the UK and watch your podcast every Tuesday morning, as it's way too late to watch them live on a Monday night. Unless, of course, you're cruising in Europe, then I avidly watch and text any questions I may have. If I can ask your advice, thoughts, and experiences in this particular question. On my next cruise, Liberty of the Seas, leaving Southampton, I'll be Diamond. Every time I order a free voucher Diamond drink, will I be charged for the gratuity to that drink and put in my cruise cabin account, or do I pay the bartender the gratuity in cash? And if it's the latter, how much do I pay? And that, actually, when you use your Diamond voucher, you don't have to pay. There's nothing extra. Gratuity is not charged to you, so it's literally a free drink. That being said, I do recommend actually paying gratuity on top of that. Like $1 is probably the best bet, quite frankly. That I think is going to be pretty much the going rate, I think, and it's certainly more than fair. So when you're ordering your Diamond drink, you'll have nothing to sign. There's nothing extra there. But I usually give the bartender, $1. In your case, maybe a pound or what have you. But the difference is that it's just a way to say thank you, and also you get better service with it, quite frankly. So. Next email is from Brian from Birmingham. Hello, I just watched your 16 secrets video. Good stuff. My question is there a hack to make the little stateroom fridge colder? It feels like room temperature in there. It's useless. Yes and no. The answer is no, you can't. But you could ask for a medical fridge. Royal Caribbean doesn't have to ask for it. They can't ask for why. But if you ask for a medical fridge, then that would solve it, because the fridge that's in your room by default is just a cooler. It's not meant to be a fridge in the sense that like you have a refrigerator at home. It doesn't cool quite that much. It's more to keep things cool, not to store for more than a little while. So it's really good for like, hey, I've got something I want to throw in there. A bottle of water, it's fine. But it really isn't meant to keep things there for a long time. The medical fridge stuff is obviously meant for people with diabetes, and they need to put medicine in there or something along those lines. You can ask for it. That's your only other kind of refuge. The other idea, which could work as well, remember, you can get free ice. Your stateroom attendant can bring you ice. So you could I guess you could put the ice in the fridge, I suppose, or more likely take the item you're trying to cool down and put that in the ice. If you have a cooler of your own, like a soft cooler or something like that you can then pour the ice in, that would work even better, but you need to remember to bring that one right there. So there you go. Thank you for the email, Brian. Next email is coming to us from Ken, who writes, "Hi, Matt. Thanks for all the great info you share in your blog and podcast. I'm still new to cruising, with sailings on Allure this season of Miami and Norwegian Escape out of New Orleans earlier this year. I absolutely loved my experience on Allure, and I'm looking forward to my next cruise on Mariner this season in November. However, I travel solo and really appreciated Norwegian's offerings for solo travelers. There were a variety of solo staterooms, a dedicated solo lounge, planned activity for solo cruisers, and a solo host who arranged seating for us at dinner each night. So I have two questions. Do you think New Orleans will ever get larger Royal Caribbean ships? And two, do you think Royal Caribbean will ever expand or improve their solo cruising options, both staterooms and activities? Thanks for all you do." For New Orleans, and I'm taking my very first cruise into New Orleans next year when we actually do a group cruise on Mariner of the Seas. And as to whether or not I get bigger, I don't see it. I think New Orleans will always be this seasonal port for them, and they'll offer these we have nowhere else to put it kind of ships, which is essentially what Mariner is. I mean, you've got Galveston on one side, which is a huge cruise market, and you've got Florida on the other side, which is even a huger cruise market. So I'm not so sure there's enough demand, because New Orleans, while it is a big city, there's not a lot. What drives a market is the drive market. So people who drive to the cruise port. Now, yes, there are definitely a lot of people who live in, the greater Louisiana area and Arkansas and surrounding states. The problem is that the population centers are much more spread closer to either Galveston or Florida, and so it's not as much of a demand over there. And I feel like it's essentially like, if you know what a Venn diagram is, well, New Orleans is right in the middle of those two circles that are meeting. So I feel like that's playing against it, and that's why you probably won't see larger ships over there, because I don't think there's much of a demand. I also have no idea about there's no bridges or anything on the Mississippi River, but I don't know if the Mississippi River itself, because remember, the cruise terminal is actually up a few miles on the Mississippi River, and you sail down the Mississippi into the ocean. It's kind of almost like a river cruise. Anyway, I have no idea what kind of restrictions are on that to prevent a bigger ship. And number two, your second question about solo cruising, I doubt it. I think Royal Caribbean has, I don't want to say given up on that. For a hot minute back in the 2010s when the Quantum class were coming out, they seemed to be catering more to the solo cruise market, but they've pretty much given up on it. We haven't seen any new ships offering any solo cabins. I understand that you appreciate what Norwegian does. I would also point to what Norwegian's, stock price is looking like right now and their state of affairs there, and look at Royal Caribbean's and see which model works better from a business standpoint. And that's why I don't think they'll change it. I'm not saying that's the right approach for a consumer or for you and I. I'm saying that it's solo cruising, there will always be a solo cruise market, but it's not going to be something that Royal Caribbean is going to cater to specifically to kind of change a lot of things, because I don't think they see any value in it from the sense of, and I'm trying not to insult all the solo cruisers out there. When I say the value of, I mean from a business perspective to go in that direction, if that makes sense. Next email is from Barry from New York City. My family recently booked a Southern Caribbean cruise on Symphony for August of 2027. There'll be 9 of us, grandma and grandpa, 4 adult children, their kids and spouses, and 3 grandkids, ages 6, 5, and 2. We booked 3 one-bedroom grand suites next to each other on deck 11. Any tips for cruising with such a large party? Which reservation-based activities would we want to prioritize? Number 1, and I'm assuming you can do this, open up that balcony divider. Talk to your stateroom attendant. Actually, you'll have stateroom attendants, but ask them to open up the balcony divider so you can, because you have those 3 suites next to each other, you have a ginormous balcony to enjoy. That's like a huge thing. In terms of reservation-based activities to prioritize, the shows are always good. I mean, that's a family-friendly win right there. Take advantage of that one. But otherwise, when cruising with a large party, I kind of shared this. You've got this. First of all, I love this idea, so I'm not. Again, I'm in full support of what you're doing. But, in reality, the needs of grandma and grandpa are going to be different than the needs of, the parents who have the grandchildren versus somebody who doesn't have it. What I'm trying to say is, do dinners for sure together, but don't feel like you need to plan every minute next to each other, that you're kind of joined at the hip. I feel like you really want to have a kind of a basic idea of what you're going to do every day. Book tours together, obviously, on shore. But don't feel like you need to have okay, we're going to do this from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Leave time alone for everybody. That might be a really good idea. Barry also writes, any recommendations for our port stops in Cabo Rojo, Curacao, and Aruba will be docked from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. We prefer history and culture to a lazy day at the beach. We also need things that are kid-friendly. Yeah, history and culture are not usually things you find in the Caribbean. There is some, don't get me wrong, but not a lot of it. Aruba and Curacao, they're beach. Aruba is known for its beaches, Palm Beach and Eagle Beach. Curacao is known for diving, scuba diving, snorkeling. And Cabo Rojo is kind of a beach day as well. They're all beach days. It's not like when you go to Europe or Alaska, and you're not going to places like San Juan, Puerto Rico, or other cities that have a deep historical significance to them. And you can find history in any of these places. I don't want to make it seem like there's no history or culture. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to dig a little deeper to find it. And what you will find is not going to be that amazing. For Aruba, I would recommend resortforaday.com. I think this one's the easiest one to just simply do a beach day. That's honestly the best one. Resortforaday.com. The Riu Palace, which has a family-friendly option, I've gone to a couple different times. It's fabulous. It's great for kids. It's great for adults. It has beach and pool and food. It's really, really good. The other places, it's going to be tough because, again, there's not a whole lot there. The great thing about Curacao, though, is you can actually go downtown. And this one might actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this probably be your best bet for this. Downtown, you can walk from the ship to downtown Williamston, and there's shops and there's a few museums. I actually went to I think it's the oldest. It's one of the oldest Jewish synagogues in the world or the Western Hemisphere, and it was over there. And there are museums, things to see there. That one might be your best bet. And there's a variety of tours. I'm sure you can find Viator.com and things of that nature. Cabo Rojo, I don't know much about it, but you're in the DR, the Dominican. Republic. I think you're probably better off with another beach day, quite frankly. Or the other thing you could do is say, pick one of these ports. Say, all right, we're Aruba, we're going to do the resort for a day. Curacao, we can find enough to do in the city. Maybe in Cabo Rojo, you stay on board the ship and take advantage of a lesser crowded ship. That's also a really good thing. And lastly, Barry, you also asked, what do we know about staying in a suite and Star Class amenities? First of all, you are in Grand Suites, so that doesn't qualify for Star Class, but you do qualify for Sky Class. And about a week before your cruise, maybe a little bit less, you'll get an email from Royal Caribbean, from the concierge, introducing themselves. First thing you want to do is when you get on board the ship, go to the concierge lounge, introduce yourselves to the suite concierge. The biggest things you want to take advantage of are the concierge services. Any issues you have, don't go to guest services, go to the concierge. Number 2, go to the suite lounge and enjoy there, especially in the evening hours. A lot of fun. Kids are allowed in there. Don't feel like you can't bring your kids. Number 3, you have Coastal Kitchen. Definitely book some reservations for dinner. When you get that email, you can actually email the concierge back and ask them to make reservations for that. And then, of course, the suite sun deck area on the ship. They have a special area just for suite guests. Take advantage of that one. So, thank you, Barry, for your email. Our next email is coming to us from Trisha. Good morning, Matt. I took my first Royal Caribbean cruise a few weeks ago on Radiance of the Seas and really enjoyed it. My husband and I are still debating our cruise options for 2027 and hope to make a final decision over the next few weeks. But I have a question about the drink package. He's not a drinker, but I am. I know we'd both have to get it, so I'm wondering what's the lowest you've seen the drink package and when typically do we find the best deal? Does Royal Caribbean do a Black Friday sale? I want to save up for it so I can purchase it when it goes on sale since we don't use credit cards. So the answer to your question is definitely Black Friday is one of the better times to do it. There are sales all the time. In fact, Trisha, last year, I swear the best price I saw was like in August on a random sale. You got to keep track of it. I mean, that's really the name of the game. There's not a better option. There's so many. There's like literally a sale every week. You got to keep tracking on it. Now, the best price depends on the ship, depends on the sale date. So if I tell you, Trisha, hey, I saw it for, because I have, $49 a day, great. But you may never see that price. This isn't like, buying jeans at the mall where if you watch it long enough, eventually the price comes down. It doesn't do that. It's all dynamic pricing. It's all using AI to price it out. So really, I mean, you don't use credit cards. I'm not sure how you'd be able to book it. I guess you're talking about like a debit card, I assume, which you could use. But I would tell you that the best strategy overall, I tell people, is if you know you want a drink package, buy it now. Lock in the price. And then if there's a better deal tomorrow, next week, next year, you can always cancel and rebook with no penalty. Now, this makes it a lot easier with a credit card because obviously you're not deducting funds from your bank account immediately. You have some time, and in the grand scheme of things, when you cancel and rebook, the refund from the cancellation and the debit from the new booking, he ends up with a wash or a minor difference, right? So I would just simply tell you that's the best strategy to keep an eye on it. What you don't want to do is say, okay, well, I'm going to wait and see for a better price, because sometimes the price never goes down. It only goes up, and then you regret not booking it earlier. So definitely book in advance to take advantage of that one. Next question is coming to us from Michael Ryder. Hope you're having a great day. We're sailing on Star of the Seas, September of 2026. My wife and I are celebrating our 14th anniversary. On day 2, we'd be going from gold to platinum. Do you know if we will start with Platinum Sea Pass card or won't it start on our next sailing? It'll be on your next sailing, Michael. Anytime you move up to any tier during the sailing, it's great, but it applies in the next one. So, next email is from Margaret Hanlon of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In your latest article, you mentioned booking 2 rooms when you travel as a family. We do this with our teen boys as well. The price is usually only slightly more than 4 of us in 1 room, and 2 bathrooms is so worth it. When we book an inside room for our kids, on paper, my husband is in that room and I'm in the balcony. That way, he often gets cheaper deals for the drink package, and I can avoid buying one and just buy drinks as I go. Just another way that hack can save a few dollars and, of course, a lot of sanity. Hopefully, that might help some of your listeners. Margaret, I'm nodding my head to everything you said there. You're absolutely right. I have shared, and just to recap, my favorite family cruise strategy is, again, for family of 4, family of 5, instead of booking all of you in 1 room, book 2 rooms, even if it's smaller rooms. Margaret's not wrong. It ends up being just not that much more money to book it. People think like 2 rooms. What am I, a millionaire? It's really not that much more. It's fairly economical, and there's another benefit to it, which is, besides the extra bathroom, there's another third benefit, but it is the drink package thing. I always book, when I book it, I book me and one of my kids in the room, and then my wife and the other kid in that room. And that way, yes, if I want to get the drink package, I can do that and only pay for one person instead of two. It's a great workaround. Really, really smart thing. I love that. Next email is from Michelle. I've never taken Icon class cruise ships due to pricing. As more Icon class ships are coming out, is there any chance that Icon class ships will ever decrease or at least plateau as more come out? I think plateau is definitely to be expected, Michelle. You can look at the Oasis class as an example. Look at the price of Oasis of the seasonal lure versus Harmony versus Utopia. I mean, they're not all doing 7-night cruises, so they're not quite apples to apples. But generally speaking, the plateauing phenomenon is what you'll see there. Right now, Royal Caribbean they're dealing with significant demand. And because they're having such high demand, there is absolutely no reason for them to be cutting prices, and certainly not on the Icon class ships. So what you can expect is you look, to 2030 or something like that. Plateauing is pretty much the case. What generally happens is, a ship comes out and it's whatever price it is. The next new ship tends to be a little bit more expensive than the previous ship, and so forth and so on. Now, obviously, if ships change itineraries, if they don't do 7-nighters, if they do shorter sailings, well, the price will come down, but, and then you're dealing with how much is it per night? Anyway, I digress. The point is, yes, the more we introduce, when we get to Icon 5, Icon 6, it's going to have an effect, but I don't want to ever make it seem like, like Enchantment of the Seas type prices will be coming for that eventually. The Oasis class ships still command pretty good pricing on that, and that's why I'm not expecting a major change there. But price plateauing, absolutely. And I think when you get to 2030 and you have 5 or 6 Icon class ships out there, and you look at the pricing, I'm all but certain, generally speaking, Icon would be the cheapest of them all, then Star, then Legend, and so forth and so on. Next email is from Peter Wiseman. Going on Legend of the Seas in February of 2027 and doing back-to-back. Will the Pearl Cafe have cow's milk that is lactose-free, or should we take our own on board with us? Well, the good news is Royal Caribbean can provide lactose-free and soy milk at no charge. You just have to ask for it. They usually have in the Windjammer in the main dining room. As for the Pearl Cafe, I think they make that for some of the coffees. I'd imagine yes, but certainly you could ask for it at least one of those other venues, or take your coffee and move around, that kind of thing. Also, can you please do a video showing how to book restaurants like the train station, or how to put celebrity cruise points to Royal Caribbean? Take up the $30 room option. You could call it Royal Caribbean's Cruise App Website for Dummies. I love the idea, actually. A lot of this kind of stuff is, some of the depends, booking restaurants. It's not so much that anybody doesn't know how to book a restaurant on the website or in the app. It's that, when do you book? And the answer is it depends. And certainly, I've tried talking about some of these things. This celebrity cruise points, as soon as you get back from a cruise, you have about 14 days to fill out the request. And then, your idea's not bad. I'll put that in the library. Ideas. Thank you for it. But a lot of it is a little more specific, and it's kind of hard to get kind of a wide appeal on that. But I appreciate the feedback. Next email is from... somebody didn't put their name. Hi, Matt. Love the podcast. It gets me through my work days waiting for my next Royal Caribbean cruise. We're a family of 4 with 4 teens and plan to book 2 rooms. Mom, daughter, father, son. The promo available is free specialty dining for 2 in each room. My kids couldn't care less about specialty dining. So my question is, can my husband and I go twice since each room has 2, or does it have to be 2 people in that room? Great question. I think the free specialty dining for 2 is probably a travel agent offer, so you have to read the terms and conditions of it. My understanding is it's usually tied to the cabin. You're booking 2 rooms, you're going to get 1 for one cabin, 1 for the other. And obviously, now how does that work with can you swap out, kid 1 for adult 1? And I'll bet you anything it'd be this. And I'm just guessing, so please don't shoot the messenger. Don't say, well, Matt said. Matt is just going to give you, this is your mileage may vary. Give it a try, see what happens. 1, I would bet you the terms and conditions say no. But 2, in reality, as long as one of the persons from the room is there, and you're like, hey, look, I got a second person here you go. I wouldn't be surprised if they would say no. Don't one of those don't ask, don't tell. Don't bring it up. Just be like, hey, listen, here, I've got this. I'm staying in this room. Here's my voucher. Here's my second person. Never mind that the second person isn't the other one in the room. See what happens. I'd be surprised if that didn't work. But of course, that's a guess, and I don't know that for a fact because I'm sure the terms and conditions say that the offer is only valid for people in there, no transfers, no cuts, no butts, no coconuts, and that's the end of it. But Next email and our last email today is from Tanner from Canada. Hi, Matt. I'm hoping you can offer some guidance on our 2 upcoming side-to-side cruises. Both sailings will be out of Port Canaveral, and in both instances, only one leg of each sailing will be on Royal Caribbean. Gasp, I know, but after 30 Royal Caribbean sailings, we do want to see what other lines are like. Everything we have tried so far reinforces the fact that Royal is our main line. I'm having a hard time understanding if it would even be likely that an Uber would take us from one terminal to a restaurant nearby, even if they're open in the morning. Or should we just Uber out of the port somewhere for breakfast and then Uber back? Unfortunately, that seems needlessly complicated. What would you recommend? So if you're going on a non-Royal ship, your Royal Caribbean ship will almost certainly, I don't think you told me which one it is, but there's a good chance it'll be Terminal 1. The good news is, if you're in Terminal 1, you can walk from the cruise terminal to the restaurant, Fish Lips, and the other one, which is, I'm blanking on the top. It's not Gators, but it's something like that. Anyway, Fish Lips and it doesn't matter. They're right there. You can see it from the back of the ship. It's, when I say it's walkable, it is walkable. I'm not sending you on a half-mile trek. This is out the terminal, take a right, you'll see it. It's a very short walk. I think it's very manageable for you to do that. And then from there, could you take an Uber to yes, you have to. I don't think you can even walk through. There's a bridge involved with it. The Uber driver, the taxi driver will probably scoff at it and be like, okay. But listen, at the end of the day, he's going to make an easy $1 and it'll be fine. So don't worry about it. I think you'll be good with that. So that'd be definitely my plan over there. Thank you, Tanner, for your email. Thank you to everybody for checking out this episode of the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast. You can always email me your questions by emailing Matt, M-A-T-T, at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, Matt at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Until next time, I'm Matt. We'll talk again real soon.